Welcome back, guys. Thought I'll do more of an in-depth video on the Fuelwood Transaw. It's a 350mm machine with a circular saw blade and a multi-way knife, so you can split 6-way, 4-way or 2-way all in the same knife, where you can just adjust it hydraulically here, very quick and easy if you've got varying size of timber. Lasers measure the log, and it's as simple as sliding it along, a bit stiff, and you can change the length of the log there. When it's up, you can, so this laser on the left here slows the log down, so it comes up, hits the first laser, slows the log down. When it hits the second laser, it stops, the arm comes down, then it cuts. You can manually override it here, so if you want to make longer logs without moving this, you can then move it along and then turn this, and it will then cut the log. Manual slew, lift up this pin, and the conveyor slews in 3 different options. So what I'm doing at the moment is, if I have seasoned stuff, I slew it over. Obviously I need to drop down a bit because that light's there, but slew it over and run it along the cleaner. When I'm processing green stuff, nothing really comes off of it, no bark or bits come off of it, so I just go directly into the IBCs. So where the magic happens. Big circular saw. All really heavy metal in here. Well built, big bearings, easily greasable. Do that every time before I start it up. Good to keep this all greased. This does the flicking mechanism. That's the spool block. Apart from the slew, I think pretty much everything is hydraulic. Conveyor up and down, hydraulic. As I say, splitting, multi-split wedge. The flicker is the log flicker here. That's all hydraulic. Everything's hydraulic pretty much. This particular model was a PTA model, but I had the 3-phase motor put on the back. So it's all 3-phase, nice and quiet. The loudest thing on here is the whir of the blade itself. You could run it without ear protection, but I like to stick my Bluetooth headphones on and listen to music or a podcast. Three hydraulic pumps there. I don't know which one does which, but it's got plenty of power. Big spool block. It's huge. There's a lot going on there. But I've owned it for 3 years, and I've had a pipe burst at the back here where it was rubbing somewhere. I'm not sure if it had been, so I bought this machine second hand, so I'm not sure if that had been moved previously, and it was rubbing and it was a bit kinked, so that gave in. What else has gone? Oh, a really small switch on, so you can adjust on the front here. You can adjust where your ram comes out to. So if you're splitting long stuff and you just want to hit the button once, you can adjust it so it splits all the way through. If you're only cutting say 20 centimeters, you need to move the log to 25 centimeters just to reduce time and wear on the machine. You can adjust that in here, and you can slide this along And as I say, there's a kind of like an arm here that comes along, and then when it reaches here, just flicks the solenoid and then it returns back. You can override that by just holding the button and split all the way through. But this top section itself broke, and it was just a case of unbolting it, putting a new one on. It was all ready to go again. I don't know what happened. It was just fractured through there, and it was pennies. You know, it wasn't a lot of money at all. Better make sure that's in the right place before I start processing. Yeah, it's very simple. Left one here does the timber deck, if you've got one. This does the splitting knife itself. And this one does the up and down the conveyor. Now, you've probably seen me running this in previous videos. So you literally pull it towards yourself. As I say, it gets the first laser, slows down, hits the second laser, then stops. Keep holding. The grapple arm will then stop and pull it all tight. Keep holding, and then the blade will then come out, cut it, and once you've got through the log, you let go. The blade will return back and the arm will then come out, and it will automatically flick this down. And then it's just a case of pressing the button for splitting. Now you can pull this lever and it manually flips this in case it doesn't do it for any reason, or the log doesn't fall down itself. But I found it very reliable, it's pretty good. This here is a trap door. You don't get this on a lot of processors. Pull that in, the whole lot comes out, and the rings that are the wrong size, or a real knotty bit, or a rotten bit, whatever it be, you don't want it going up into the cage. Just pull this lever. That's a trap door. I'll show that. Drops out, then you can discard it. I've got a bin here for all my bits to go through the burner. Real handy machine. Around here. Big oil tank, big pipes. I'm not sure how many litres it is. Another thing that comes standard on these machines. Hydraulic cooler. Now I have got a dust extractor. It's not great. It just about keeps up really. But at the time, didn't have the money, so this was cheap. It does the job, but it has actually got metal fins in here, so it's pretty solid. But you find a lot of bark gets built up around here, and then it blocks it, and then it can't suck it through, where a bigger fan would suck that through and eat it up. This is manual, so what I do at night, I fold this up and then drop the door down, and it's all safe. The only thing outside is the log deck, but that's all right with the rain. Since I've owned it, this has always been inside, so I just wind that down with this winch, and it's all ready to go. You just put the back plate on there, and it's all ready. Got hydraulic start only for all the hydraulic functions, and then you've got a source start, emergency stop. You actually got a light in here, somewhere in here, that points down onto the log. This tape does get battered a little bit, and then it starts reading, it starts messing up with the lasers a little bit, but I bought a roll off Amazon recently. It's about 20 foot long. I mean, you only use, well, not even 2 foot, you know, of tape at a time. And it cost me a couple of quid. So I'm gonna replace that. I can replace that It's just 3M, a reflective tape. This safety guard is meant to be down, and it hydraulically locks you out. So say you're running it and you want to lift it up, it doesn't let you lift it up until the blade stops. I do run it up, shouldn't, but I only do it to adjust the log in here, and I take my hand off the controls when I do it. I mean, probably shouldn't do it, you shouldn't do it, but I say it's no different to a splitter. Say you just, if your log gets twisted here, you can just flick it straight and then press the button for splitting. As I say, it should be down, don't recommend it, whatever. It's a big machine. This is the I think it's 4 meters, and you can get a 5 meter option conveyor. As I said, hydraulic cooler is standard. It's a big machine. It weighs 2.5 tons. That explains, I mean, all the thickness of steel is just, it's well built, you know. Great machine, British made. Let's get it running. demonstrate 30 centimetres, 12.5 inches, no 12 inches. Show you how quickly it goes through the saw blade. Set to there, you see, half push. That's a Kane's car. Beautiful. 6-way. So I've got the big side. Demonstrate the hydraulic wedge.